a lot of times we can be very self-critical. We can be overly critical of ourselves. And we can beat ourselves up over past mistakes or, not accomplishing or achieving what we wanted to achieve. But it's important that when you're going through certain things in times of hardship, you need to be your biggest supporter, not your biggest hater. Because the world can beat you down. The world can be tough on you. Society, other individuals around you, they can, sometimes be negative influences. Sometimes people can drain you. Sometimes people, have a tendency to have a negativity bias, meaning they tend to remember and focus on the negative things and forget and neglect the positive. They tend to look at the glass half empty rather than looking at it half full. And because of that, because of other individuals, projecting that negativity onto you, because of society, social media, the things you may see on TV, it's important that you're not your biggest hater. Rather, you are your biggest supporter. I used to play sports in high school, man. And when I played sports in high school, a lot of times I had to be my own motivator. The coach may have made you practice once a day, but he wasn't making you stay after practice. After practice was over, practice was over. But I had the internal drive. I had the internal motivation to say, you know what? I know practice is over and everyone else is going to go home. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to motivate and encourage myself to keep on putting in work overtime. We work overtime. And then when the next time you get back on the court, the results will show. Your output equals what? Your input. If I work out once a week, if I play basketball once a week and somebody else is working on their skills 7 days out of the week, who do you think is going to get better? Who do you think will get better? But sometimes, somebody else on the outside may not be the one to wake you up at 5 a.m. to go work out. And then shower, then go to school. Then have after school practice. Then after practice over, you practice on your own again. And you go home, take a shower, do your homework, and do it over again. And over and over. This was, you know what I mean? This is what it takes to be great. And now as I mature and as I fast forward in my life, I'm studying to, become a physician and things of that nature. I'm a senior pre-med major, and I've taken the MCAT. And anybody that is a pre-med major, you know how rigorous and strenuous that can be. And for those who aren't, just to give you some information, the MCAT, the Medical College Admissions Test, is a 7-hour exam, including breaks and lunches is 7 hours. And this exam is oftentimes what stands between someone getting into medical school and not for everybody, but for some people, this is what stops them from being able to matriculate into medical school and to become a physician. It's a big deal. People study 6, 7, 8 months. People have to retake the test 3, 4 times. And I only bring that up to tell you, when I was studying for that, no one was waking me up early to say, hey, go study. No one was pushing me more than I was pushing myself. I wasn't my biggest hater. I was my biggest motivator. I was my biggest supporter. I was my biggest coach. I was my biggest advocate. You have to advocate for yourself as well. What do you need? Because people, they'll try to walk all over you if you allow it. You have to speak up for yourself. And I'm not saying be aggressive and to the point where you're harshly and overly aggressive to where you're disregarding people on your team and being disrespectful. Hey, we're all human. We all deserve some sense of respect and at least some decency to not disrespect others, especially if you're working on a team in an organization. You know what I mean? As an employee on a job or whatever, you have to have some sort of decency and respect towards others. However, Never be passive. Never take so much of a backseat where you're neglecting your needs and what you need and what you want. Yeah, I'm respectful of others and what they may need and their feelings, but I'm also going to prioritize my own. And that's you being your own biggest advocate, you being your own biggest supporter. Sometimes that's what it takes. And so if you're watching this video, this is your sign. Never be your biggest hater. Be your biggest supporter. Be your biggest source of motivation, encouragement, uplift. I can't pour from an empty cup. When you're on a plane and, they tell you, put your own oxygen mask on first before trying to help others. And so you can't, pour from an empty cup. You gotta do what you gotta do to fill your cup up. Fill your energy. And you being your own biggest critic and biggest hater, that usually is not gonna do that. And I'm not speaking out of turn, or I'm speaking from experience. I was very self-critical for a large portion of my life. I would beat myself up over mistakes more than others would. And instead of being so self-critical, be self-compassionate. Give yourself grace as you going through the journey of life. The reward is in the journey. We get so caught up in outcomes and goals and things of that, but it's about the journey. And I've learned and I've developed a greater appreciation for the journey. I like the journey. I like the quest. I like the road to achieving what I'm trying. I like the pursuit of the goal, right? So I've learned to fall in love with that and to not be so self-critical when I may not meet my goals or I may not meet the expectations I previously set. Don't beat yourself up more than you need to. Definitely be accountable. Definitely hold yourself accountable. You need responsibility. You need accountability. You need to make sure you're not settling for less than. Make sure you're not selling yourself short. However, if you give it your all, you put in work, and things don't turn out the way you wanted them to turn out, learn from it and move forward. Don't live in the past, because the past is gone. The past is gone. When you're driving in a car, the front windshield is much larger than the rear view mirror for a reason. So don't be your biggest hater. Don't be so overly self-critical. Be self-compassionate. Be your biggest supporter. Be your biggest source of motivation and encouragement, because you'll need it. Because you can't pour from an empty cup. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you would like to see next, and I will catch you on the next video.